Is Team Liquid Philippines the greatest team in MLBB history? They got the GOAT, KarlTzy. Let's see what you guys think down below. That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Let's get to it. Let's go Liquid. Let's go. Greatness in MLBB isn't just about the medals, although it is a big part, and we often look at the medals or the achievements and the championships that teams have had. It's also about the lineage of a team. And when we look back and pull back the curtain on Team Liquid Philippines, for those that aren't familiar or weren't a part of the ride on how eventually they got there, again, this is from Aura. Again, different rosters, I know, but Aura eventually becoming Echo, eventually becoming who they are today, Team Liquid Philippines. That is the lineage over time. And one thing that Team Liquid Philippines has done very, very well throughout those times is build and carry a philosophy throughout the eras. And if you have watched and tuned in with us for MPL Philippines Season 16, that is what we were celebrating. That was what we were commemorating, was the eras of the league. And there is an era alone of Team Liquid Philippines, and damn well going to be a possible golden road as we head on to our next big international, the accumulation of all the leagues coming together for the M7 World Championship. So that's the question. Even with some of the amazing changes that have happened here for Team Liquid Philippines, one of the big moments even in Season 15 when they acquired OHEB and have now started this dominance that they've been on. What do you guys think? Is Team Liquid Philippines the greatest team in MLBB history, or are there some other teams that might come to mind? You guys can let me know in the comments below, but in today's video, that is exactly what we'll be talking about. Let's get to it. So the start of the lineage, we have to go back all the way to 2020. This would have been MPL Philippines Season 6, and this would have been Aura Philippines. Aura Philippines, of course, was an extension of the org Aura over in Indonesia, and the first iteration of this, for most of you guys watching this and the international viewers, you would have recognized Jaypee. Jaypee was a part of this Aura squad back and all the way in Season 6, and over time, before they became Echo, Benny Cutie ends up joining the roster. I think it was Season 7 where Benny Cutie joined. So you had Benny Cutie and Jaypee, and then by Season 8, Jaypee actually, he retires for a time. He was already a two-time champ at that time before Season 8, and this is when Aura then changes to Echo. Aura changes to Echo, and during this roster, of course, still the only really familiar name that a lot of people are going to notice from this is Benny Cutie. So Season 8 was the time that Aura went to Echo. We had Benny Cutie on that lineup there. So this is, again, once the transition started to build up from Season 6 up to Season 8, it was Season 9. Season 9 of the MPL Philippines when more familiar faces for Echo came into play, and that would have been the GOAT, KarlTzy himself. Benny Cutie was still there, and of course, that's when Yawi comes into Echo. That was also, they were also joined by KarlTzy and 3marTzy during this time of Season 9. Now, this eventually would lead into another season of Echo developing into more of a powerhouse. Season 10 was when that rivalry definitely started to bloom between Echo and Blacklist International. And this Echo, this version, Season 10, is when we see the shades of what we see today. This was Sanford, KarlTzy, Sanji, Benny Cutie, and Yawi. Now, side note, Season 10, they lost. Echo lost against Blacklist International in the grand final. The upper bracket final, Blacklist sent Echo down to the lower bracket and then met them back in the grand final for Season 10, and they lost 4-2 to Blacklist International. Blacklist International might be one of the other teams that you guys think of when I ask you who is the greatest team of MLBB history. And a lot of people will say Blacklist International, but this is about Echo, eventually Team Liquid. Now, their dominance in this lineup came to fruition after losing in that grand final to Blacklist International. They then go on to the M4 World Championship, and they absolutely destroy Blacklist International 4-0 on the world stage. And I think that was the moment for a lot of people when they realized, okay, these guys are a force to be reckoned with, a world force to be reckoned with. And this is where, again, that Echo Express, that Echo play style, everything came together here, I really feel like. And you got to remember too, the common names like the San duo, they were so young here. You look at San now, Sanji and Sanford, they look like kids back in M4. Again, this is all about their roots. They've developed so much over time. And so that was their peak. Was it their peak? Is it their peak? Was M4, the World Championship, their peak? Some people would say that. I'd beg to differ though, because the M4 World Championship was just the beginning. It was a ruthless display that crowned them world champions and an MPL Philippines Season 11 title in 2023. At this point, the Echo identity was pressure tested. It was proven on the biggest stage, and you can see that happen time and time again. Now, if we look at the M4 World Championship, this is most likely their peak. If we look at Echo's lineup, what they accomplished, what was exactly happening here in the world stage over in Jakarta. This was the passing of the lineage, the era itself from Blacklist International, them having their dominant run ever since M3. This was the passing of that baton where Echo goes and gets revenge after the previous grand final in the MPL Philippines, sweeps Blacklist International in a very dominant fashion, and starts their dominant run. But again, is this the Echo Express's peak? Did they run out of steam after the M4 World Championship? Now, moving forward, they did win MPL Philippines Season 11. They got first place there. They swept Blacklist International again. But after that is when I can say the Echo Express definitely ran out of steam. Started to slow down. They started to have struggles on their upcoming tournaments, from a third place finish at MSC 2023 to a fourth and third place in the next preceding events, the third place finish in Season 12. And this left fans wondering what was going on with once former world champions. And that seems to be a question asked a lot of the times of the world champions that are crowned. And so the Echo Express went through a different route, a different change. Echo turned into something else, with an amazing reveal that they did back in 2024. In May of 2024, Team Liquid acquired a majority stake in Sanji, the group behind Aura and Echo, and announced a rebrand to Team Liquid Indonesia and Team Liquid Philippines. It wasn't just a name swap, it was a statement. World-class infrastructure meets a championship-proven Philippine roster. Now, Echo began gradually rebranding to Liquid Philippines, bringing in a global spotlight and resources to a team that was already forged by title runs. Now, this was also during the time that more organizations were teaming up with professional teams here in the team in Philippines. Just like we saw in Fnatic Onyx, you have Team Falcons, Team Liquid, you have other big organizations joining the esports scenes from across the world for MLBB. Now, under the Liquid banner, the identity remained. The clean macro, the disciplined fights, the pressured fights, the fast pace, but there was a developing and there was a composure under pressure that was happening. KarlTzy, the GOAT's experience, Sanji's map control, his amazing plays in the mid lane, of course, 40, Sanford, the rock solid XP presence that he brought, and the spine held. The jersey might have changed here, the chants might have changed as well, but the standard didn't. Team Liquid goes on to win MPL Philippines Season 13, but after that, again, a time of struggle, a time of questions of their fans asking what happened. Once former champions of the Season 13 in the MPL Philippines, they go and struggle in their international events, getting a third to fourth place finish in MLBB Season Cup, the MSC. This was the first one held for EWC 2024. And then their preceding ones all the way into the MPL Philippines Season 14, where they finished one of their worst finishes, a 5th and 6th place finish when they got beat. They got sent home in a first round exit of the playoffs. And this is once again a pivotal moment for Team Liquid Philippines and the cavalry out there cheering them on. Because after that struggling finish in Season 14, this is when things changed. Leading into Season 15, there was a major announcement. Headlines everywhere. OHEB joins Team Liquid Philippines in the gold lane. As Benny Cutie steps out, the Filipino sniper brings championship pedigree and late game killer instinct. OHEB, known for a very peculiar attitude, playstyle, aura, if you will. A former Blacklist International gold laner moving to Team Liquid Philippines to replace what a lot of people were looking for, a change on this lineup that the fans and everybody rooting for Team Liquid Philippines desperately wanted to see. And although it was tough to see Benny Cutie step down, OHEB coming into the lineup was a pivot that many weren't expecting, but many cheered for and many were excited for, to see how this distinct gold laner, with all his background and history and proof of skills within the game, would play into this lineup of Team Liquid Philippines, with a lineup that has established so much already and even a world title together. OHEB having his own experience on the world stage back in M3. How would he fit into this lineup of Team Liquid? Well, on paper, it's a seamless baton pass, but in practice, it raises the ceiling to new heights. Now, where does this bar for being called the greatest team in MLBB history even start? There's been so many amazing teams and organizations that have accomplished so much within the game and outside the game. Where do you start here? Why is Team Liquid Philippines potentially, or already is, considered one of the greatest team in MLBB history? Because greatest isn't a single metric, it's a checklist. You can start with your trophies and the peaks. Again, Echo's M4 crown and domestic titles prove the summit isn't hypothetical when they accomplish that world title. The era of influence, the Echo style, that Echo Express eventually turning into what we call the Liquid Stampede now. Shout out to Riash. The Echo Express eventually evolving into the Liquid Stampede showcases their playstyle that has transitioned from era to era alongside the meta and is still a mainstay in how they play today. The longevity, again, from the early days of Aura, the early evolution of Aura turning into Echo to eventually Liquid Philippines. Those early days of Jaypee, even when Jaypee, Daddy Jaypee as he's called, steps down for a little bit, steps out, quote unquote retires, comes back in season 12 of Echo, and then eventually, fast forward today, finals MVP season 16. I believe that's 10 seasons for Jaypee, and there's a reason why people call him Daddy Jaypee. It's that longevity. Again, KarlTzy when he joined there as well, and then eventually the shades of Echo that we saw until eventually it is that current roster from Benny Cutie to now OHEB on Team Liquid Philippines. And that's not to discredit Benny Cutie. He helped them accomplish a world title. And now Benny Cutie has been able to find success on his own over in TNC, accomplishing great things with TNC. But again, the greatness of Team Liquid Philippines has been over this longevity of these players. And of course, you look at the international aura. Taking a world title matters. Lifting it against the best of the best cements you as one of the greatest teams currently at that time. Now, if we look back, they had their M4 moment. They didn't get to go to M5 or M6, but this year has been different. 2025 has been a different year for Team Liquid Philippines. With the inclusion of OHEB in the mix, Liquid Philippines' future sample size could validate a true dynasty across the brands. And this is where we come into picture again. The Golden Road has been a sought-after achievement by so many teams within the esports ecosystem of MLBB, and no one has accomplished it yet. Now, what is the Golden Road? The Golden Road is accomplishing every single major event within the calendar year of the competitive esports scene for MLBB. Now, that's your regional championship. That's MSC, the Mid-Season Cup. And then you have the World Championship, which ahead of them is M7. So that's the thing for Team Liquid. They've already accomplished 2 of the 3. Can they get the coveted World Championship for M7 to accomplish that Golden Road? No team has done it. I think 4 teams have gotten close to the Golden Road. Will Team Liquid be the first team to accomplish it? This debate isn't one-sided. You have so many key moment teams, key teams out there from the Philippines that have had a lasting effect in and outside of the game. Even Bren winning their first World Championship in M2 started the whole run of the World Championship dominance for the Philippines, eventually them becoming even AP Bren to get the M5 World Championship. That was the first moment, the first stepping stone of the Philippines' pedigree on how strong they are as a presence within this MLBB ecosystem. You have Blacklist International, the Ube meta revolution that is still talked about and played today, that had a lasting effect on teams outside of the Philippines and around the world, and not to mention the whole inclusion that the key players, key individuals, Oh My Venus and Wise, Edward, OHEB, Haji, brought brought to the world stage, brought to the world the inclusion into the competitive scene. And let's not forget the M6 world champions, Onyx Philippines, formerly Fnatic Onyx Philippines. The eccentricism there, the eccentric characters of that lineup, the fun that they have as a family, as a team, showcasing just how much synergy can be built within a team. These lasting effects all play a part in different criteria to name a greatest team of MLBB history. If you really break it down, it depends on your criteria, and it's really hard to choose just exactly what makes the greatest team. But is Team Liquid Philippines on that path to becoming the greatest team of MLBB ever? They've already got the GOAT, KarlTzy. There's no other competition there for the GOAT of MLBB. But what about the teams? Is Team Liquid Philippines the greatest team in MLBB history, or just the newest face of a lasting dynasty? Also, before we close out this video, if you guys haven't yet, I highly recommend you guys to go check out the recent podcast, the latest podcast episode from my dear friend Wolf, the AG podcast. He has KarlTzy there. For the international viewers, there are English subs. It's done a massive effect and performance so far as a video. It's great to see the insights of our GOAT, the GOAT of MLBB, and I highly recommend you guys go give it a listen or a watch. Again, there are English subs, so check it out down below. I want to leave you guys with this. Maybe the real answer is this: the Philippines didn't produce the greatest team. The Philippines produced the greatest eras. And Team Liquid Philippines might be the bridge between them. Proof that culture outlives a logo. So, with the golden road ahead of the cavalry of Team Liquid Philippines, are they the greatest ever? You decide. Drop your take below, and let's settle this in the comments. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this type of video. Leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear your insights, and leave it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. See you in the next one.